Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ETF2L Season 31 Div 1 Grand Final, brought to you by TFTV. It is going to be between the Theorists and professional Disney fangirls. I am not alone, though. I am joined by two wonderful gentlemen. Well, one of them's wonderful, one of them's questionable. And that's Wiethoofd and my dear friend Ombrack. How are you doing, Ombrack?
We'll let chat decide who's the wonderful one and who's the questionable one. And on these words, I'm good. I'm excited. After the games we had yesterday, which was pretty good already, we have another crush game right now in front of our eyes. It's gonna unravel, and pretty excited to see what's gonna come out of this game.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely incredible game. Actually, like we've seen these teams face off before, and we're gonna watch them again. But it's gonna be pretty good. They've so the Theorists already have beaten professional Disney fangirls and actually got themselves straight onto the grand final. And was it the French team, Ombrack, that they had to play against for Disney fangirls?
Yeah, they had to, and they won it. And you mentioned how Theorists won against Disney fangirls to go to the finals. They haven't lost the Theorists. No, Disney fangirls. They lost 2 games this season, and the 2 of them were against the Theorists. So on paper, it doesn't really look good, but I have good hopes that CJ and his boys are able to turn the table around and show what they're made of.
Yeah, well, we've got a wonderful selection of maps. What was the 3 maps? Was it Gullywash, Process, and Sunshine? Was that the maps decided?
These are the maps indeed, yes.
Yeah, so some really good maps. We're currently kind of in pre-game right now. We're waiting for people to turn up. Oh, they're changing level. So Gullywash is going to be... No, I always like to start on a Gullywash. It's a fantastic map. So how do you feel these teams will fare up against each other, Ombrack?
I don't really know, because the funny things with these 2 teams that they played each other twice already, and they played each other on the same exact 2 maps, which were Process and Granary. They played that on week 1 and during the playoffs. So this was pretty much the usual playground. And for them to play Gullywash against each other is basically something quite new, at least to us. So I don't really know what to expect on this one. The other one, we may have more information as the game goes on. But for Gullywash, I don't really know what to expect. Both teams are pretty able, pretty good. I think like professional Disney fangirls, again, they've only lost to the Theorists this season, so they know how to play Gullywash for sure, because they won it in the past. So I really don't really know what to expect, and I'm ready to be surprised.
Yeah, and saying that, the Theorists have only actually lost 1 map this season, and that was against Am. I don't know how to say it. Is that? I don't know. I'm terrible at pronunciation at the best of times, so that rings true. But yeah, so they've only lost one actual map, and that was a
Snakewater map.
So yeah, it's not. Oh, that was on my birthday. But that was a little bit. That's going to be interesting, because that's not on the map pool we've got. Yeah. So it's the Theorists looking really strong, actually.
Yeah, they've been able to identify what maps they were the weakest on, and they get rid of it. So
it's like they're thinking, Ombrack.
Maybe they are. I would be surprised though. Like, this is Div 1. I mean, do they think in the lower division of TF2? I don't really know.
I don't know. I don't think at the best of times, and I'm like mid at best. So when it comes to any div above me, I don't have a clue, Ombrack. But saying that, we should probably run through the teams, have a little chat about who's in which team, and how they're going to match up against each other. So, do you want to take us away with one of the teams first? You get your pick, and I'll choose the latter.
Okay, I'll go with the underdogs, professional Disney fangirls. On Medic here, there's the famous CJ, pillar of the community. The Demoman is going to be Neon, the Finn. The soldiers are Coling and Viljack. I want to say Viljack is playing Pocket, but when we go into how these teams play, we can see that both of these players are kind of roaming, don't really care for their lives. And the 2 scouts are Eklung on Pocket and Toast on Roamer Scout / Flex.
Yeah, he likes to play a lot of Spy, being that his main in Highlander. So we.
You said
tend
it.
to do that.
You said Highlander. We're cursed.
Oh no. Well, you and I know a very funny fact about Highlander. Anyway, I'll run through the opposite team, which is the Theorists, and they actually have Af and Yeehaw on scouts. They have Collade and Geordie on soldiers. Collade picking up the picking up the Roma slot, and then Geordie actually picking up the pocket. They have Mac on demo, and finally Dowie on med. And they've played a really, really good season. They've been really, really tight, and hopefully they can keep that consistency up and take themselves a grand final win in Div 1 here.
Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, it's Joe the Brave who made some interviews of CJ and Mac before that game that you can check on ETF2L, and it was interesting to see that Mac gave us some information about how his team is playing, how they are heavily reliant on how Af and Yeho are playing, and when I saw the roster, I wasn't really surprised to see these two players being the carry of their team, considering how good of a DM players they are. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they fare tonight. Because, yeah, we should maybe mention the stake of tonight, because the winning team will go straight to Prem next season. So it's pretty high stakes.
Yeah, getting that all access pass into Prem's quite a nice thing to get, all in all. It means you don't have to go through the stress and tribulations of actually doing the Prem qualifiers, so it'd be really nice for themselves. But going back to the Theorist, I've got to say that Geordie had his moments in the last game I got to cast where he really just wanted to create as much situations as possible, and he took a couple of really interesting Uber trades and situations that I hope we see again, because that was quite nice from them. But even with that, it's kind of not the Disney Princess Fangirls we've seen previously. They don't have Yak anymore. They don't have Milchman.
They don't have Seal, who was a staple player on their team, so he is the one who's actually missing here. I think they have three new players this season in the likes of Calling, Ekelund, and who's the third one? I forgot. Neon, of course. So three new players this season. Worked pretty well for them because they made it to the finals. We've seen this team faring against a Prem team in the Prem qualifiers on all the seasons. So they're not new to that kind of level. They just didn't quite make the cut to go into Prem. So maybe tonight is the night with the new additions they have. I know that they kind of adapted the way they play to Ekelund, who is the pocket scout, and he's also the main caller, and he plays a bit like in a Banny style where he takes a lot of the heals, a lot of the Ubers, and you mentioned how Geordie is the one doing that for sometimes for the Theorist, and Ekelund is the one taking that role, trying to make his team moving swiftly across the map. And I remember they played Gullywash against the Frenchies on the last leg of playoffs, and they actually took a pretty good win. It was a kind of a slow map, but you could tell that they were that they knew how to play the map, how to play around their off classes, and I think Ekelund was one of the big reasons of that.
Yeah, I think having that off class ability, especially on a map like Gullywash, just kind of segueing onto that. This is a real sniper friendly map, and there's some really good sightlines to actually abuse the sniper. But looking at the Disney Princess Fangirls team, who would be the standout sniper really to play for them? Would you say it's more Eklund than Toast?
I think it's actually Viljak.
Viljak, the Roman.
Yeah, Viljak he has also some HL experience, and from what I can recall, from what I've seen against the French players, the French team, I think he was the one of classing to sniper. I guess Toast can do that as well to some extent, but I think if there's one dedicated sniper, it would be Viljak. And it's probably better to get one of your soldiers to play sniper, and so you can keep your two scouts, because everybody knows scouts is the best class in the game. So having two of them is always helpful.
Yeah, it's always really nice to keep that, especially that movement from pushing into areas with your scouts is always really good. I like to coin it as the chariot, which is like two scouts and a med just charging through an area. It can be really effective if used correctly. But going on like little matchups here. So the first matchup I'd kind of like to speak about is Neon versus Mac. So they're the two demos for their team, and I feel like Gullywash is a map that as soon as the mid's over and done with, it is down to your demos kind of charging things and keeping things in control. And like, how do you feel Neon and Mac are gonna kind of match up against each other, Ombrack?
Well, the last game I've seen from Neon was against the Frenchies once more, and he looked so confident in his ability to push forward and to be helped by his teammates. Again, Ekelon was always around to help him, so I feel like Neon fits really well in that team in the way that he's not afraid to press forwards when he sees an opportunity. I don't really know much about Mac, but what interested me in the interview he gave before that game is that he mentioned how at the start of the season he felt like he was kind of the weak link in his team, DM-wise, and that he managed to step up throughout the season. But I wonder if that can be something that comes out tonight once more, you know, that little choke factor. I mean, it's the finals. If you don't, there's a lot of pressure right now onto this player. So maybe Mac will feel that way a bit more than usual tonight, and I wonder if that's going to hinder the way he plays or not. I've seen him sometimes running the how is it called, the lock and load. I don't know if that's something he does all the time or if it's just how he feels it from time to time. But yeah, I'm actually quite interested to see how Mac fits in that, because yeah, he mentioned how all his players are pretty good DM wise, and I don't know if he will be able to live up to the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, saying that, with the lock and load, I saw an old, well, your current teammate at the moment, I don't know if you're staying on Swift, but Smeare actually used the lock and load in a situation against Seven, where he was using it to take down a sentry gun. And I think that's a really good use of the lock and load, is it has got that ability to like clean up things like sentry guns really easy, because you've got like so much range on it. But we'll see what decisions Max makes.
That's pretty tricky to say. What decision Max makes.
Max makes. I'm proud of myself. Thank you for calling that out, Ombrack. I feel good. But yeah, we are waiting on one player to join.
Collade.
So right now, we may talk about little things here and there, but more importantly, you guys in chat, let us know who you feel is going to win. Let your teams know, because they may be watching chat right now, just having a little look before the game. So let them know who you think is going to win. Just, I don't know, at your favorite player. Let them know. Actually, let's talk about the CJ Dowie matchup between the two meds. So an experienced Highlander med that just can't be backstabbed. And then I think the process game, Dowie died like 2 or 3 times. That was it.
I think the strength for Dowie is that yes, I'm not going to talk about him personally, but his scouts are Af and Yeehaw, which are extremely really good scouts. And when you have 2 scouts protecting you from bombing soldiers, I mean, it's easier to survive. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's easier at least to survive. So when you couple that with being able to follow up on Mac, I feel like he's quite helped. For CJ though, I know he's really experienced for Highlander. He's been playing, like, people think he's basically only an HL player, but he's been playing sixes for an extremely long time as well.
Long time, yeah.
So I think people don't really quite realize that, but he's been around for ages, both in HL and sixes. So I'm pretty sure he knows how to handle himself as well.
I think most people just know him from his time on Strong Opinions, though. I think that's kind of, Prem of Prem of Highlander is gonna go above a Div 1 slot in sixes for notoriety. But saying that, you guys have kind of let us know, and we've got 43 for the Theorist and 57 actually for Professional Disney Fangirl. Is it? Yeah, Professional Disney. No,
PDF. PDF is quicker.
PDF is quicker. I always say it wrong because my brain just doesn't like those words together.
What's your take on it, though?
What's my take on it? I think the Theorists are going to win it, but I feel like the Theorists it's going to be a closer game. I feel like maybe especially with the different maps than they've had before. Like, they were so close on Granary versus Process that it's going to be closer, especially on this Gullywash match. What about yourself before we get into this mid? Quick comment.
Really quickly, I want to say PDF just to prove you wrong, but I'll let you take us away through the first middle now.
Oh, okay, I will. As Neon does seem to get him quite nicely, but there might be a right side favourable mid for the Theorists. His back actually rolls out through Big Door. Big bombs coming out of Khaled and Geordie. They're trying to connect onto something, but they're not able to do so. Eklund spamming away, but he's actually going to get cleaned up. That skill stick movement from Geordie, though, keeps himself alive, and he's actually the other side of the combo. Toast just cleans him up, but they've lost both their soldiers on the side of the Theorist. They've just lost Af as well. Yeehaw just went down, so that's not really that great. Only Dowie the survivor for Theorists, so PDF win the first mid.
Really nice mid here from PDF. They just played as a blob around their choke. Only Calling was on his own part of the map, getting in duel against Yeehaw. But yeah, they played as a blob. They just lured the soldier onto their faces and cleaned them up, even though CJ felt pretty weak at some point. And overall, that was a really nice showing of how they can wait pretty well for the aggression and then answer with a nice focus fire.
Yeah, and right now, Ubers will be equal as Boismev survives, but Eklund looking for an angle in main right now. He pops a shot onto Af, but not able to actually get a kill. And it's all about denying this sentry gun setup from Af, and Billjack's in a good position just to slow him down. Most importantly, he's denied that upgrade. So if they decide to push in or make a play now, they're only dealing with a level 1 sentry.
They're taking their sweet time, and Yeehaw is maybe one of the reasons why he's sniping from the left hand side and trying to deny Viljack from playing Riverside, and Viljack actually felt quite weak, and the sniping from Eklund main got a fully charged body shot, and that's going to be up to maybe Eklund to do something, but he's getting cleaned up right away by Geordie. Nice read here from on the situation.
Yeah, good read there, but Viljack's actually going to go in for a bomb right now, trying to get the force onto Dowie. Dowie goes super low, but doesn't actually pop. That's a lot of confidence in your team, but now the numbers advantage is in the side of the Theorists, and they're looking to make a play right now. Ombrack, they're dealing with plays in lower. Everyone's in big door for the blue team, and they're going to use really early pick up Geordie, but no use from Dowie. Once again, he backs out, only dropping Geordie. Mac manages to get out in time, and now there's a full Uber ad on the side of the Theorists.
Yeah, second time in a row now that though it doesn't use, even though it could have. There's a spy, but he's been spotted right away by Collate, so nothing can be done here. I don't really know why CJ deemed worthy to use the Uber, but what happened, and now it's a pretty bad situation for PDA, but at the same time, it's really hard to push out of the last, and we can see that Terrorists are trying to take position from the top side, and the bomb from Calling can't really connect the rocket, and Dewey once more with the unscathed and doesn't have to use the Uber.
The only mentality I think CJ had is he saw the beam of Dowie, and I think he wanted to get an exchange going. But right now, Geordie's actually in quite deep. He's gonna get cleaned up. He doesn't really connect anything and just kind of dies for no reason. Toast is behind, but Af gets caught by a trap from Neon, and Viljack in behind onto Khaled. Deals a bit of damage. Look at this rotation out of PDF though. They're dealing a lot of damage onto these players. They get the exchange going right now. Calling actually does go down, and Khaled takes a lot of damage. If he doesn't save himself, he's going to die to full damage. And look at this, the Theorists are so spread apart on Brack, and they do end up going down, only with 2 players really surviving.
Yeah, after the middle, this is the second time now that we can see how PDF is extremely good at luring Theorists into a false sense of security. They went into middle with thinking they didn't have to use, but that rotation was extremely well made from PDF, and they just took the opportunity and took the team by surprise, the red team by surprise, and that's why they got a better Uber. And this is they seem really good right now. They seem to have a better understanding of the flow of the game so far, and they now have a 20% Uber ads. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do, because there's a pyro and a sentry gun, so it's going to be a bit tricky to push. I don't really know what their approach will be, and they will maybe want to take it to use it quickly.
The best time is to use it as quickly as possible, as they do send players down below. Mac is well aware. He tries to deny them, but Toast goes up with that Uber. They're able to push people off point, but they haven't started much time. They're starting time now, but the return Uber has come out from the Theorists. They get Toast, but that's the only frag. Never mind, they get Viljack as well, so there's 2, so they've got a chance to push out. But Af is on that sentry gun man, but he's switched over now. and they're pushing out of lobby. That wasn't the greatest push, was it, Ombrack?
I think was some kind of miscommunication here, because CJ, I think, assumed his team was going to push Riverside and go straight away, but they actually went under, so that Uber use was a bit pointless here, and this is why now the Theorists can push out truly onto the second point, because I think two soldiers died for PDF, and that's why it kind of went bad for the blue team. And yeah, I think maybe some kind of miscommunication. Both teams need to, again, this is the finals, don't really have much room for mistake, and maybe there's some pressure making the play a bit iffy so far, and probably need some time to go into that game as well as they can.
Yeah, and PDF, Viljack is actually being rather bold, but Ubers are equal. They're in this second to mid situation we see so much in Gullywash. How are they going to break out? Do you feel like maybe CJ wants to take it in with an Uber exchange, or maybe they'll go for some sort of sack play? What you feeling? What you feeling, Ombrack?
I see them rotating big door already. I think that's the safest play when you haven't really tried anything yet. I think buffing the flank and try to go from a play from behind is the best solution, but we can see Mac, he knows that really well, and he got actually calling who was trying to make his way into waddle through big door, and with the help, I think it was Collade who was helping Mac, the casualty was there, but Jordy dies as well on his own flank, trying as well to go in for a force. So we can see both teams playing really cautiously right now. They know that, I mean, they don't have to rush anything, they kind of, you know, dipping into the water, try to see how fresh it is, not taking too many risks, because they don't have to. They can see how well established the holds are for both teams.
Yeah, I think either team shuddered to think of the opportunity to go in, but Eklund takes a pipe. That may be something if Mac's kind of on his own, but Geordie just joins at the right second. Viljack actually going down. This is an opportunity for the Theorists to maybe apply some pressure. I expect them to be a little bit quicker in applying that, as they spend a little bit too much time, and now Yeehaw is actually trapped in, having a 1v1 with Toast. Toast goes super low in that drop down area. He ends up going down, but Yeehaw low. Cooling just going to go for the cleanup. Misses one, but gets the other. But whilst it's happening, Corley jumps in, tries to connect onto a player, goes down, and that's 2 down versus just the 1 for PDF. But CJ, why did he use?
I think he expected Dewey to be closer, and that's why he used. And I think this is second Uber now. That's not really pretty good for PDF. And actually, Mac, what a job! He just went in and piped everybody. So he claimed 2 frag for his countdown. And now this is looking actually really good for the Theorists. Jordy dies in the backline, but doesn't really hurt the team much, because even though Dewey used his own Uber, it's a lot of ground covered now for Theorists. They are able to take the middle point back, and they even have a slide. It's really small to use, and with a sniper, it's going to probably slow them down even more.
Yeah, and sadly they didn't deny those forward spawns as well on Brack, so all of the PDF players are back into position. You mentioned it before, but Viljack, the pocket, is actually going sniper, and he's looking for angles right now, or at least just to deny the Theorist players coming into any section. And weird positioning. I expect them to be a little bit closer. I think the CJ thinks he has less ad, that like no ad at all, or like he's in a disadvantage, but he's doing all right as both get Ubers at the same time. CJ does decide to use it in. Jordy does go down. Khaled is going to get picked up on that top hand side. The Uber flashes onto Af, saves him for the time being, but he manages. Actually, no, Dory gets toast. Af goes down to Viljack. Jesus, these players are stealing each other's kills left, right, and center as the bully comes out from PDF and they get mid. So it's just a battle for mid right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned that positioning from CJ and the rest of his team was a bit weird, because they gave a lot of respect to Theorists, but as a response, Jordy was so eager to move forward, they overextended, they got punished right away, and this is why that Uber trade went in the advantage of CJ. And yeah, it looks like the PDF, they have identified how to play. They try to play sim passive at least, so they can bait the bombing jumps from Jordy and Collade, and it's working pretty well so far.
Jet lands a nice little headshot onto Af and creates again a player ad, and they're rotating into big door to try and create this. Collade's going to get popped up, but as that happens, 2 players actually go down for PDF, so they're going to back out, get into a passive situation. Neon doesn't want to stay in too long, dealing a little bit of spam here and there, not a huge amount though, as Jordy again overextended, goes down to Neon, and the Uber comes out from... Like, Dowie just waited so long. That's so risky. That was such a risky play, and congratulations for it working out as they're able to bully the PDF players out of choke. But the repush is coming in. Neon wants to go in. Toast actually goes down for players exchange from both teams. People are jumping on left, right, and center, but it looks mainly like, yep, it's not good for PDF. CJ, the only one left on Ombrack, and kind of all went wrong for them.
Yeah, that just highlighted the difference in playstyle between CJ and Dewey. CJ is playing a lot, really conservatively, doesn't take risk in these charges, he'd rather use than drop. On the other side, Dewey is actually playing way more in a risky fashion. That's the second time now that he falls really weak before using, so we can see the difference in playstyle for both the medics, and maybe it's gonna... as the game goes on, we can see more and more of that discrepancy between the two players. But it paid off earlier for CJ, and this one now it's paying off for Dewey because he has an Uber ad. I'm expecting maybe even a crit. No, it's a regular Uber, but that's a sizable Uber ad maybe. And if the theorists are quick enough, they can take it. But by the look of it, they're extremely slow to take it, really cautious. And as I said, that they're gonna take it main.
Yeah, they're actually going to take it in main. A lot of flashing going on with Dowie as he gets his team in. They get the sentry gun, and now it's all about this post-Uber fight. They need to clear and do as much damage onto CJ, bully them out as possible, start some sort of cap, or at least get the force as Neon goes down to a nice rocket from Geordie. But the bait point, they get the Uber out of CJ. They need to make sure that the numbers are an advantage for the Theorists, which it is at the moment, but they do lose AF. Pallade, nice bomb in, they get the heals, they get 3 players so quickly. They're going to bait point, nothing Viljack can do, and that's the first round going to the Theorists.
Yeah, that early Uber allowed the Theorists to take a lot of ground and to actually did a lot of damage before CJ got to use his Uber. So after that, it was just a game of attrition, peppering the players down and claiming the frags one after one. And so in the end, I feel like PDF played slightly better overall this round, but in the end, the Theorists are just, they got around, so that's what matters, right?
Yeah, they did get around, and that's the most important thing, as we do see a double bomb on the second mid from Geordie and Khalid, but nothing really connects, and both of them do go down. Cooling's actually in the backlines in a good position, trying to get some damage onto Dowie. Dowie's super low, but right now the fight... Oh my god, Yeehaw with the ultimate life form, 1 health, and he still survives and manages to clean up Toast.
Can CJ escape? He's getting chased by 2 players. Yeehaw claims another frag to his count, and yeah, again the same kind of middle where PDF is playing really defensive around their choke, while Mac, Jordi, and Collet were extremely aggressive towards the blue side, and this time it paid off for them. So yeah, that's probably going to be the story of that game, with the PDF trying to play cautiously, whereas there's a more high risk, high reward kind of playstyle for the Theorists, and it worked well, and now they have a pretty sizable Uber red.
Viljack trying to hide but gets spotted out just by a stray rocket, and he's going to end up going down to Mac. And again, that's a player advantage situation, something that the Theorists can use just to create that opportunity, or at least just go in. They got this Uber ad, they're going in right now, they see the sentry gun, Toast trying to keep it alive, it is going to go down, and Cooling bombing over the point, trying to keep himself alive, just going to go down. Neon, no Greyjoys here, is actually stopping the point really nicely. A lot of damage on there, but Theorist cap it out for the second time. Good play from them, but nice attempt from Neon on Ombrack.
Yeah, but he was kind of his own. I mean, everybody died pretty much really quickly for PDF, and I feel like they should maybe try to use more off classes, because you don't really need 2 scouts when you have that big of a disadvantage, and I think maybe a heavy or a power would have been more helpful than a scout. But after a pretty long round, this one went way quicker for the Theorists, and maybe they're trying to take the edge to take the map as soon as they can right now.
Yeah, and they're coming into this second mid, and Khalid, it goes down so quickly. Geordie as well, that seems to be what happens. Oh my gosh, PDF just cleaning house.
Yeah, superb reaction here. Superb reaction. That's an ace. As we like them,
Look at Neon.
Got picked
Look
up.
At Neon.
So, yeah, Neon is already spawn camping, so he's getting also helped by Eklon and Calling. So pretty nice play here. Nice going down forward. Now it's going to be important not to get picked off, because they have no cap time on the second point, so we have to hold this for quite a long time. And they get max. It's really a really big pick here.
Yeah, so they're still in. They're waiting for the cap, so they're playing a risky game, but they've got so many frags once again. Like, Af's not able to do anything. Cooler's going to clean him up, and they're just playing the point. And just nothing else to say. That was so
perfect.
That was
perfect round. Pretty much everything PDF needed to go back into that game. They didn't leave any room for doubt here. They just maybe they felt that they were getting a bit bullied, and they just sent the bullies back to home because that spawn camp. We basically
also,
saw
did you see the double pyro? There was an accidental double pyro there.
Doesn't matter. They got the run in with 2 pyro, not even OP.
Yeah, he didn't leave spawn, but coming into this 4th mid, and Cooling's the first one to go down. So it's like Khaled and Geordie have decided to calm down a little bit, but it doesn't matter. The cleanup once again coming in, but Viljack's going to go down to Mac as they're pressing across point PDF, and both teams exchanging quite nicely, seeing if they can get a frag. Eklund's actually going to be another casualty against the Theorists, and Theorists managed to cap out this mid.
Neon had some decent ground control here, but some of his players got a bit too eager to move forward, and Mac was there to punish them with pipes and sticky. But Ubers are quite even, and we could see a trade right now because I see CJ using his Uber already.
Yeah, CJ's actually decided to use it, and the exchanges happened between them and Doey. But frags for frags, Toast actually going down now. A lot of players trapped in big door. Viljack's going to go down as well, and Geordie wants to pressure them in lobby, not able to do so because he hasn't got the support of his team. But they've got second. Ubers are equal. Jordan's just going through main whilst the rest of the team come out right hand side. Geordie bombs onto CJ. A lot of spam his way, but no. But Neon decides to dance on the head of Mac as Mac's going to get bullied out. And, you know, oh! Did you see that? He got CJ.
Yeah, CJ died to some spam, but I think that was really the best.
Doey.
Can Doey leave? No, he dies, but
no.
I think that Theorists, when they went in, that was really poor focus fire because once Jordi went onto and Khaled went onto Neon while Jordi went onto CJ. So of course when you split your focus fire, it can't work out, and this is why this push. I think it was a good idea to go forward as straight as soon as they can, but yeah, the poor focus fire was what doomed their here on that situation, and now it's going to be pretty good for Professional System Fangirls. They have a slight Uber ad, and they have the numbers which allows them to go onto the middle uncontested.
Yep, as Khaled again looks to try and make something happen with the bomb. Gets cleaned up, but the demo goes down for PDF. This is an opportunity, and the Theorists are reading it. They're going in. Viljack gets super low. He's not going to get cleaned up as Af and Yeehaw go down.
Jordi got CJ, and that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, because CJ was actually completely left alone. Everybody in the team walked forward, and he got dropped at the same time by Jordi, and he had to juke somehow, and juking made him go even further for his teammates. So this is probably a salvage play here. Salvage play here for I don't have the name, Theorists. But in the end, there was some silly mistake here. Probably the first kind of big mistake for that we see tonight was how they left CJ completely on. Because if CJ had lived this, it would have been really highway to last point.
Yeah, that would have been perfect for them to actually get some really good time and just get in with that Uber ad. But right now both teams are equal. We see Yeehaw actually setting up with the sentry gun. I think Viljack spotted that out. He's going to start spamming it, but Jordi's doing some nice work to deny it. He doesn't want to peek too hard because there is some stickies there ready to catch him out if he overextends. And Eklund on the sniper, peeking through main, probably going to look for some sort of frag if he gets even like the demo or something like that. But he's going for the sentry gun, decides not to do it. Jordi actually gets the kill onto Eklund, so the sniper's out of the picture, and Af went on sniper, decided to come back on scout, and I think he's ready to use that aggression and that opportunity for the Theorists to push out. And Jordi leads the charge, bombs onto Viljack. Viljack takes a lot. He's keeping himself alive quite nicely though, Ombrack, and things are fizzling out once again.
It was an alright attempt here, tried to get some room because there were only 5 players for PDF who were up and alive. So I was alright to see, try to commit, see what happened, and if you have no room to work with, you just go back. So that was alright here from Theorist, and Eklung is bad on sniper. He hasn't really connected Choi yet, only a body shot onto Yeehaw earlier, and he hasn't seemed to find his mojo so far. I think he's been spotted once more by Mac. I can see him spamming main, and it's pretty much going to be up to Eklund to hit a shot here to try to break that holes.
Yeah, what's this Geordie positioning right now? He's hiding where you usually put sentry. Sorry, not sentry, stickies. So it's kind of interesting to have your soldier there. He's not able to spam as the sentry gun does go down to Viljak's rockets. And maybe he's looking for some sort of early force or maybe a drop onto the medic. But CJ is in river. His team should be calling this out and he should be rotating to help his team out as Eklund's got a lot of free reign right now. Looking to connect a headshot but not able to do so. And we're kind of having that stalemate right now as CJ's in stairs, maybe looking for some sort of rotation. How are they going to break this last hold? Ombrack.
I feel like they need Geordie to do something else than that, because you don't drop medic anymore on that situation, and you need your roaming soldier to watch Riverside and deny the snipers. So yeah, we can see that Geordie died, kind of silly, and I think he was needed to take care of that sniper, because now there's a lot of sightline for Ekelund to work with. Mac is alone playing the point, and Toast actually almost capping. Oh, that was so close. The gun goes down, and no, maybe they can pressure cap and try to make it around, but that was really close here.
Yeah, it's a very terrifying situation to be in, but both teams have now exchanged, and Cooling makes an attempt onto point. Theorists know that it's so risky to step away from that point right now as Yeehaw is going to clean up Neon, chase down CJ, who is super low. He tries to turn around and fight, but not able to do so as Toast in that lower area. May be looking for a play onto... No, decides to back out through big door.
I think PDF kind of baiting themselves. They thought they were so close to capping that they committed everybody they had still alive onto that point, but that was kind of a mistake because they were missing two, and this is why it didn't quite work out. And the bombs coming from Viljak tried to get onto Dewey. Dewey falls actually really weak, and that was a decent attempt. Now Ubers are kind of the advantage of the terrorist, and I can see really well Mac try to take space here.
Yeah, Theorists looking to clean up that centre. Geordie's kind of was left in a little bit, but no one was really there to catch him out as they all get into second quite confidently. Once again, we're going to see these players looking for opportunities, looking for places to go in. They're able to get into the lobby quite nicely, and they're just going in on this left-hand side through river. No, not connecting with anything but the sentry gun. Af's going for the chase onto Neon. Whilst this is happening, CJ gets cleaned up by a nice meaty bomb from Geordie. He's going to go down, but this post-Uber fight situation for the Theorist needs to go well for them, as Toast is just trying to deal as much damage to everyone around him. He's going to get cleaned up. Doey is down, but the numbers are very equal right now as the respawners come back in with CJ there. They're going to have to back out. Khaled makes a last attempt, but the Theorist not able to cap off that point.
Ekelund lived that fight with 2 HP all along, so that was pretty funny to see him hiding onto the secret side. And I was quite unfortunate for PDF because CJ died at 98%, and had he lived, it would have been a completely different situation. Viljak is trying to hide onto the choke when he's spotted right away, and Geordie dies as well, trying to bomb CJ died with a nice follow-up from Af, and this could go really wrong really quickly now for PDF.
Yeah, Khaled having a bit of a fight on Batman's going to go down. But it doesn't matter as the Theorists have gone up into river. They're going to probably send one scout down and push forward, maybe chariot themselves in. They've got this huge Uber ad, so they're actually going to back out and wait for that Uber. You know, you can do that. You can play it cool. If you want to cap off a lead, this is the best way to do it, Ombrack.
They don't have to rush anything. There's 6 minutes. I mean, they still have a pretty sizable ad, so they can wait for their spawners. But yeah, they don't have to rush things. And now the Uber is being used onto Shutter Door on the Heavy and the Scout.
Yeah, and they've come in on this right-hand side. They've managed to push them into spawn, but the rotation is coming out of PDF. Are they going to be able to stop anything as so many players go down? Neon, Viljak all alone trying to defend. Viljak takes a lot of damage, but Neon and Viljak doing good work. They have 10 seconds to hold off, and they ain't going to be able to do it as the Theorists clean them up.
It was a perfect push here. Yeah, they bullied everybody from PDF who was on top. They bullied them into the spawn, and then it was only Neon and Viljak on the ground. So yeah, that was perfect. They didn't suffer any casualty either. So that was a perfect push here. And with only 5 minutes now, there are 2 rounds down for PDF. They really need to figure something out because there's not that much time left, and they could lose the first map pretty soon.
Yeah, they could, as we get into this 5th mid, and things are looking pretty good for PDF as they get Mac, they get Af, Doey's trapped in elbow right now, and he's gonna try and back out. He manages to do so, but they clean so many players, and Doey is the only one alive trying to make that escape. Viljack maybe looking for the chase. No, Eklund's on.
Yeah, he's on the prowl. He's thirsty for blood,
No!
and he misses.
Oh my god, Doey! Oh my god, that denial from Mac! Did you see those pipes? Oh.
That was an air shot, and that was a perfect denial, so Dewey would live. And we could see on that middle, PDF tried a completely different approach where they just walked up a point and tried to be extremely aggressive. It worked out quite alright for them, but for CJ who died, and now that they missed a frag onto Dewey, it's gonna be really hard for them to keep a hold onto the middle point, because they have a sizable Uber disad and they have to respect the disadvantage.
Yeah, and again, Uber's gonna get forced out from Doey. They're gonna look to press onto CJ. CJ staying alive really nicely. Mac is just gonna go in with the bottle. He gets the detonation onto CJ. Imagine if that was what he meant to do. Imagine if he had the brain to run at someone with a bottle to force them onto your sticks. That would be hilarious.
Maybe.
You can't debt while swinging. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh my! Why? Jake, you're a mini, you don't know anything about the game. This is a proof right now. But
wow!
all joke aside,
you used to be able to do that.
Yeah, a long time ago, but I can't do that anymore.
Well, how am I supposed to know demo things?
And
I'm not asking you.
No, this is looking a bit bleak. And as I said, Dewey and App die one after the other, and Collate as well. So what an aggression here for professional GC Fangirls. They even claim a fourth frag, and another one. Only Hero now is left alive. He's in the backlines as well, so I don't think there's much he can do, especially if they know about this. And it looks like they here and there poking behind them, and maybe Hero can go from Neon, but the clock is running, Jake, and now 3 minutes, 2 rounds to 2. Hero dies. Maybe PDF can do it.
Just to defend myself, demonstration Superman Eames did not know that either. So sit down, Ombrack, all right?
Isn't Eames the guy who? No, I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, don't. Ombrack, are you just trying to make as many enemies as possible? But PDF actually dealing with their enemies really nicely and have gone forward with this Uber. Jordy gets cleaned up. A lot of baiting onto point. Both scouts trying to do it, and they managed to get it. 2-3. Well done.
Nice push and nice double scout Uber. I think this is the first time we've seen that where both Eklund and Toast take that charge and burst right through main, and the fact that Dewey didn't have his own Uber surely helped things out. 2 minutes now. 1 round down for professional GC Fangirls. Jake, this is going to be short. This is going to be tricky, but I think there's room for them to come back.
Also, Domo didn't know that either. So I feel better about myself, but the Theorist actually kind of a bit scared right now. Bombing with both Jordy and Clade. Matt goes down as well, and you know what? This could go to Golden Cap. They're doing what they did the previous round when they actually got their comeback, and Neon all the way already going on to last, looking to maybe set up some sort of sticky track on last. He's able to do so. Viljack denying as well, but Jordy jumps over him, gets cleaned up by Cooling. Clade holding down the fort for the rest of his team, gets really low. They're able to bully. They're waiting for their teammates to come in. App with the denial. Good reflects coming out of him, and Viljack ends up going down. The bomb's coming over the top, and we're doing good. We're doing good for both teams, as they're still in right now. CJ's in secret. I don't know what he's doing. 1 minute 20 left, and frags going for either team. CJ going to go down. Neon down as well. And I feel like that might be all she wrote for PDF on this first map.
They tried to replicate that push where that round where they got the spawn camp going, and they tried to do it again, but this time Neon didn't have quite the same positioning and the same sticky onto the spawn, so this is why it didn't work out. And I feel like the pyro as well helped Theorist quite a lot. So I think we were really close for a comeback, and now it's as I said, it's 50 seconds is actually still doable, but Dewey has the Uber and PDF is pushing from big door, but Neon gets cleaned up right at the start of that push.
Yeah, and that Uber probably is all she wrote, as Toast goes down, Viljack down as well. 38 seconds, unless some god level play comes out of PDF, they won't be able to cap this, but I believe Eklund gets absolutely mulched. Jordy They get CJ and call in.
Neon! In 20 seconds, you can't do it.
I've never heard you chant before. That's such a weird experience.
You'll never hear it again.
Phil Jack goes down. This is garbage time. Well done for the first map for the theorists. And PDF, they can do it. They can do it. I believe in them. You know, we've got a second map that's process.
It is indeed.
Now, the theorists have shown a really strong game. It's so much closer when it's not process, but process, the theorists do really, really well.
Yeah, but before we get carried away onto that second map, I think there's that was actually really close, and yeah. I mean, of course, theorists won that map, and they showed some dominant moments. But I think overall, PDF can be quite happy with how they played.
Some of their mids were amazing.
Yeah, some mids were really good I feel like when they have some aggressive play, it really paid off for them, and I think this is maybe an idea to keep in the back of the mind for that second map. I feel like they showed some good moments, but I think they were the teams who made a little more mistake maybe, and maybe gave also a little too much respect on some occasion to the theorists. But really, these two teams are really close to one another, and I don't know. You say that second map should be a bit more in favor of the theorists, but I wouldn't write off PDF too early.
No, I'm not going to write them off. It's just
you said it. You said it.
Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. That's what I'm going to say on that. I didn't understand that. What? Oh, you are French. It's kind of a British thing.
I'm French. I can't speak. I can't speak English.
No. It's a Winston Churchill quote. You know?
Well, I don't. Yeah, I know who that is, but okay, let's move on. No, I know who that is. He is the guy who smokes and makes war to people. Yes,
that's exactly the gentleman.
Would Mac be Winston Churchill in that analogy?
Mate, you're just confusing me at this point.
That's what I do.
Alright, we have logs. Shall we have a look at logs? I'll let you do the logs thing, Ombrack, because everyone knows I detest logs.
But logs are the true showing of one's swiftness at playing the game, so I don't know why you would say that, but I'll do it gladly. Mac just being the Winston Churchill that he is, completely roasting everybody onto PDF with a nice 5-digit damage number, so that's usually pretty good. We're not gonna linger too much onto logs, but one thing that I'm interested in is the mid fights, and we can see that PDF actually won more mids than the theorists. So if there's hope still remaining, the hope is there, because mid fight is so important to how a round is gonna unravel on itself. Whoa, that was fancy. And I think, if they can manage to make these mids a bit more dominant, I'm talking about CJ's team, maybe they can have some occasion to roll onto the second point and maybe even to last. Maybe that could be a thing. And the other thing that bothers me, but it's the number of that CJ dies after Ubering, and he died 4 times after the Uber, and this is a pattern that I noticed, is that after he uses, I feel like he's being quite left alone when his Uber fades, and maybe it's something to fix for PDF, because I feel like there's not really not much playing around him, especially Ekelon. I feel like Ekelon should be a bit more closer to CJ when the Uber fades, so he can run his medic out, so the after Uber fights could be a bit better for them, and I think this is, if they can improve their middle and try to keep CJ a bit more alive. Can you be more alive? I don't know if you can, but try to keep him alive more. I think it's the better way of phrasing that.
I guess you can be more alive, but yeah, just to contrast that,
I'm dead inside.
You are. Dowie actually died 3 times after charge, so he also had a similar sort of problem where he was getting caught out, but actually his percentage of dying after...
He won.
It doesn't matter if he wins. If we're talking specific numbers...
I thought you hated numbers. I thought you hated numbers.
Yeah, I guess.
I broke the case, guys.
You broke the case.
Yeah.
No, it's...
You love numbers.
I do love numbers, but you know what I love more than numbers is actual gameplay. So let's talk about the next lot of gameplay, which is a process between the Theorists and Disney Fangirls. So professional Disney Fangirls.
Yeah, not amateurs.
Yeah, they're not amateurs. These guys have got, you know, fangirling over Disney down to a T. But anyway, now we've got through that cringe process. What's your thoughts? Your immediate thoughts on Ombrack?
So Process is one of the two maps that these teams faced each other before. Both times it went in favor of Theorists. The first time it was on week 1, and Yeehaw and his teammates won 3-1. So it looked like it was close, and then they won 6-1 the second time they played each other. So maybe the gap is just increasing all the time after time. So maybe a 5-0 for Theorists, but I'm gonna say otherwise because I want to see a third map.
Okay, but we're coming into the second map of the ETF2L Season 31 Div 1 Grand Final, sponsored by Copenhagen Games and STN.trading. But right now, not STN.trading, but you know the drill. As we get in with Jordy, big bomb onto CJ. Toast going down as well, cooling down. Viljak, the only surviving player, but cooling actually gets Doey, so they don't have that full Uber ad on Ombrack.
Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna get 2 points out of this, which is pretty good still. And I see Mac already trying to make his way through last, maybe getting some spawn camp. But yeah, extremely dominant middle for the Theorists. And that bomb from Collade onto CJ was what you call a big boy bomb.
It was a big boy bomb, as right now Viljak actually goes down, and situation's not looking too great for PDF. They managed to get Collade down, but there is a tiny bit of Uber ad, but you don't really want to be pushing out on that much Uber ad on last, because if anything goes wrong, you're kind of done for. So the Theorists looking to set up, they're getting their build on. Actually, there's quite a sizable ad now for CJ as they've managed to build things out. Viljak on that sniper looking for an angle. We don't see any off classes. Oh, we do. Collade on the sniper. Is he checking? Is he coming out?
It's called a spy, and he can backstab people.
Is he checking? Is he checking?
I think he is.
He's checking for sniper. Oh, it's yeah. I'm getting confused because people are switching classes now. I don't have the brain for this. But they were checking, and then Collade decided to let the other player check. Okay.
Maybe he didn't have a bind to change class or to change team. I don't know. But we've seen yesterday, if you've tuned in on the game we had on our ends yesterday, that these situation, that last hold, can last forever if no team really take initiative. So we could really well see a really long stalemate, a long hold. They want to make something happen, and as I stated, they lose too. So yeah, they make something happen. They make their retreat happen right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, and again, they're in second right now. You know, I'm surprised we're not seeing a bit more pressure from PDF. They're just starting to really try to apply it, but they're gonna lose Viljak. And did he get a headshot in that? Oh god, he got a decent. Was that onto Jordy? He was flying, man.
That was a shot. And
that was a shot
being used by CJ, so low is looking really, really bleak for a professional Disney Fangirls, because Dewey didn't use until now.
Yeah, they're coming in on this right-hand side. That sentry gun is toast, and they're going to be able to bait point, do bits and bobs right now as Collade bombs over the top. There's a nice distraction for Jordy to go in and get onto CJ. They're looking to bait point, but it's not looking great for the Theorists. They're not able to really capitalize on their advantage. Yeehaw goes in, he's gone behind, he looks to go into point, but Neon's got that sticky, so he's dealing with the sticky man himself. Toast chasing him out, Eklund's there as well. Yeehaw's still alive, dealing with these two scouts, gets out, and things are gonna result back with a 50% Uber ad for the Theorists.
Yeah, we've seen both.
They're going in.
Two really bad Ubers at the same time, but they're going in, yeah.
Yeah, they're going in on this left-hand side. They get Viljak and the sentry gun once again. Eklund goes down, cooling down as well. Jordy bombing over onto CJ. CJ surfs quite nicely, but he ain't going to be able to help his team as Neon's the last one left. And they get the cap in the end.
Yeah, they surprised you. I didn't expect them to push, and I think that was what surprised professional Disney Fangirls as well, because their hold wasn't set up at all, and maybe this is why the Theorists took that initiative to go in with the bombs of Jordi and Collade. So nice read here, nice aggression, didn't wait for that Uber, and it's 1-0 now for them, and it's gonna be another middle and maybe another show of dominance for the Theorists, while Mac hiding behind the rock, really dominant here.
Yep, and coming on to the second mid, Jordi goes in for a nice little bomb onto Wheeljack. Wheeljack gets cleaned up, but CJ goes down to some stickies from Mac. So things are looking good for the Theorists. They just need to keep Dowie alive, but all of the blue players are chasing Dowie. Collade is nowhere to be seen. He's going to end up dying to full damage. Or was that a kill bind? I'm not sure.
No, that was Neon showing Collade's butt and Collade dying on it. So this is pretty much what happened. And
interesting.
Wheeljack was on sniper, so a new attempt here to mix things up for the professional Disney Fangirls. I like that. I like that. It worked out okay. They won the middle, but CJ died, and Wheeljack is actually still on sniper now. So I doubt they can take that with a roll fight. They will have to wait for Wheeljack to connect some headshots. If he can do so, of course, and it's going to be another stalemate. 25 minutes still remaining, so they have a lot of time to come back, and I'm sure Wheeljack doesn't quite feel the pressure he has time. No pressure, just headshots.
Yeah, that was a nice little quick headshot onto Af, and they need to be really careful. Like, Jordi's going in to try and deny Wheeljack, but all of those players are there to protect him. He's now onto suicide, and he's looking to deal another headshot. He manages to land it. Mac's going to go down as well, and Cooling cleans up Jordi. They've done pretty well for themselves, PDF. They are not at uber ad, but they've got the numbers, and they're looking to go in through two, get onto Af. Dowie's kind of trapped in not too bad of a position. The Ubers are going to be exchanged, and it's all about this post-Uber fight as Af gets cleaned up as soon as he's disconnected from his medic. Collade gets cleaned up as well. 3 down for the Theorist. Mac goes down instantly. And you know what? As the final player goes down, that's 1-1. It's a lot closer already, Ombrack.
Yeah, and what I like is, despite having Wheeljack on sniper, I think professional Disney Fangirls played that whole phase quite aggressively, and it looks like the aggressive playstyle is what suits this team best at the moment, because both of them scored a round while actually going forward and try to apply pressure, so it's what worked out. And now Wheeljack, his deed is done and he's back on Soldier.
Yep, and coming into this mid, ooh, a Collade again going for the big bomb. Gets completely denied. They've read him like a book, but doesn't matter as Jordi comes in from a different angle, cleans up CJ. Neon down as well. Mac needs to start backing out. Doesn't matter. He's going to get cleaned up by Wheeljack. And things are not looking good for Dowie. He needs to back out. Yeehor getting caught. And Dowie, the final survivor for his team, trying to stay alive as much as possible. And he's going to go down. And in the end, that was a wipe.
Dewey doesn't escape the scout patrol. He's been chased and he's been taken down, and now maybe a fast rollout coming from Jordi, but no, he can't really face 2 scout Kenny on his own. He knows that way too well, and he lives. And that was a nice mid. I feel that the only issue for now for professional Disney Fangirls is trying to keep CJ alive on the middle fights, because I think he have died every time on each meet. So maybe that's some improvement on the side of PDF. And as for Theorists, I feel like Mac has no impact at all in the middle right now. He's just hiding around this choke, and he's getting taken down quite efficiently without dealing that much damage. So I think
look at this player rotation actually out of PDF right now as they go in with the Uber straight onto Dowie. Dowie ends up getting cleaned up, and they've got themselves in a really good position. Look at this cleanup. They clean house. They're going to be able to get onto the second, and they should be able to push it without Uber as Jordi goes down as well. Does trade with cooling, but that's really nothing for the side of PDF as Collade goes in for the bomb. Yeah, it just gets cleaned up by Wheeljack, and that's going to be 2-1. I think this is the first time we've seen these two face up where PDF are in advantage.
Might as well be, yeah. I don't really recall what the previous game, but what was that positioning for the Theorists? Dewey was so far forward, even though they knew they had an Uber disadvantage. So misread on that situation that cost them a round, pretty costly mistake here, and they will need to fix their mid up, because right now they don't really work that. And Mac knows it. Look at him, he's already walking over point.
He's walking over point, taking a lot of damage though, but Cooling's the first one to go down, and Collade cleaning up Wheeljack. And look at this, they've swapped sides right now, but they have lost Dowie, so they need to start cleaning house. And they managed to do so, get the first wipe for the side of Theorists on this map, and they're going to be going forward really quickly. They're getting ready to even start capping second with their soldiers. Khaled and Geordie. Khaled like in lobby right now. He's not afraid of anything. As he takes the 1v1 with Wheeljack, bullies him out, and it means that there's going to be no resistance for this second point. But Uber is slightly in advantage for PDF.
Yeah, but it's probably too thin of an Uber rat to push out from. But basically what happened on mid is you took what usually professional DC Fangirls do, where they win the middle but CJ dies, and you apply it to the Theorists, because Theorists won the middle but Dowie died. So they kind of exchanged their position. And interestingly, I can see Yeehaw on the Spy class, so maybe a sneaky play happening. And of course, his team don't care really for him on Spy, they just push forwards, which is a bit questionable.
And they get the sentry gun, so they've got an opportunity to slowly walk in on this right-hand side. They're not even using their Uber. Geordie gets cleaned up. Dowie takes a lot of damage, ends up backing out. Mac's going to get caught in. And you know what? Questionable push from the Theorists.
Yeah, why would they push when they have a Spy and the Ubers are even? They didn't give Yeehaw any room to work with. But now Yeehaw is actually behind on Spy, so maybe it was a bait plan all along, and Yeehaw is going to back cap. Wheeljack is actually not on the point anymore. Yeehaw is decloaking, but yeah, he can't do anything. He actually... he trades with Wheeljack, but he doesn't get the cap.
There was so much happening there. The Spy went for the back cab, and there was a ×8 on the point from PDF. They're just stacking everyone on there. They're not letting the back chat. Yeah, don't back chat PDF. Back cap attempt go through, as we are seeing PDF kind of pushing. I just watched Coolin kind of fall over. It was kind of awkward. I expected more from him, but alright. But they have this Uber ad Ombrack, so they're going to go into lobby. They're going to come out 3 or 4. 3. Prediction was correct. And they just sent Eklund in all on his own. The team finally joins him. They've started to bait point. Geordie goes in for the denial. Max doing some good work as well. A lot of players getting cleaned up on the side.
Oh, CJ caps in the middle of that was a no man's land. Just CJ there capping, and he was able to cap because the captain was extremely forward. And the reason for that is that Colling, while jumping, shot a rocket at the point, so the sticky would be scattered around, and then Toast put a lot of cap time, and as a result, CJ only had to walk on it to cap. But that was quite a fortunate series of event here for PDF, and we didn't really expect that. But now they're in the lead 2 rounds up with a 3-1 scoreline.
I wasn't even expecting this scoreline as Khaled again tries to bomb it onto CJ. CJ just serves it. He's out of there. Neon goes down though, so they don't have their demo during this fight, so they're going to be looking at cleaning up all the really low Theorist players as Mac gets super low. He's getting saved. Doesn't matter. Cooling's on the job. Gets nice 2 meaty rockets onto those players. And you know what? PDF showing their dominance right now. Like, this is a completely different process from what we've seen before.
Yeah, I don't really know what's the theory behind the middle points for the mid fights for the Theorists, but it's really not working out well for them. They've lost pretty much all of them except 1 or 2 maybe, and they really need to make better things happen for them, because now they're in a really bad position. They're 3-1 down, super big Uber disadvantage. Yeehaw is on sniper and there's a gun, but I doubt it will be able to slow down a well executed push from PDF onto that lobby.
Yep, and they're coming in on through 3. They've managed to get a sentry gun down. Lots of players trying to deny it. They're baiting point quite nicely. The Theorists still got all of their teammates. They're cleaning up. They need to get their players back in. Geordie's going to come in, deal a lot of damage. They've all cleaned up all those players on point, and that's a wipe for PDF.
It was a weird push because they didn't really... I think CJ flashed both of his cat when they were capping, so there were no cap time at all for PDF, so they couldn't apply their regular plan, and I think this is why it didn't work out for them, because after that the fight, when it comes to DM, I think Theorists are slightly favored, and I think it's why it didn't work out.
Yep, and you know what? This rotation is pretty interesting. Geordie going in really aggressively, and on the left-hand side they're going a la suicide, and they've gone in trying to get some players, trying to do something, but they've not been able to connect anything. Glad you heard that, Wiethoofd. As Cooling goes down, Eklund goes down as well.
CJ dies.
Look
on
at
that
these
Uber.
players behind.
They use that Uber to take cover a lot of ground, and Yeehaw and Av just cleaning up every player for PDF. So now it was actually a decent Uber, even though Collade and Mac died extremely early, and they take that run after kind of a messy, scrappy fight. They were on their last 30 seconds ago, and now they've made it around, so maybe they figure something out. But I'm really waiting for them on the middle fight, because I think this is really what's hurting them right now. And 3-2, only 15 minutes. We could be in for a really big scoreline.
Yeah. Whew. This has been really intense so far. But right now, neither team really actually making a play, as it could be anyone's mid right now, but Neon does go down, and that's creating an opportunity. But Viljack goes in. Eklund going with the cleanup with Toast as well. They've cleaned up a lot of players. Only one scout left though, as both teams just trade so many players, and it ends up with the 2 scouts surviving and winning it out.
Slightly better mid, I guess, because they won it with 2 scouts up, but they didn't manage to keep Dewey alive. So I'm expecting PDF to be able to fight on that second point, and this is exactly what they're doing with the help of Viljack on Sniper. And but Yeehaw is actually really far back, gets CJ really low, but can't quite get the last shot onto CJ. And now maybe this is enough for professional DC Fangirls to take it, but that Sniper is going to slow them down a bit, because they can't really be as efficient moving forward as they could have been with another soldier. And this is the part of the map that can get really slow now if professional DC Fangirls decide not to push, because it's really hard to break that hold on the second point when the Ubers are even, especially when there's a Sniper. So I'm interested to see what Jordy has in mind.
And right now, Jordy, the only thing on Jordy's mind is trying to get onto CJ, and Clade cleans it up, but he gets cleaned up alongside. But they, Doey just saves out Mac there with that Uber. And now, right now, they're trying to do something onto Doey, but Doey's dodging absolutely everything. He's so low. Dodges all the rollers.
Oh, he dies to rolling pipe after all that. That's unfortunate for Dewey, but nice job for him joking all that, and probably made PDF commit a lot of bodies onto him, so maybe not that bad all in all. And the Theorists are already on last trying to make space, but Mac and Av die one after the other, and this is where, in my eyes, the Theorists are a bit too eager to push and a bit overextending, because they could have just waited. It wasn't probably enough for PDF to push out on 6v6 situation, even with the Uber ad, but now they have the numbers, they have the ad Uber charge, so it's pretty much a free way for them onto the second point, and Theorists should be really backing out right now.
Yeah, but they're not. Collade actually goes in, creates a huge distraction for Jordy to try and make a play. He gets onto Neon.
Calling
those soldiers. Oh, all of these soldier plays right now are pretty good. Viljack goes in, gets onto Doey. He does end up going down, but CJ's going to Uber on that chariot, uses scouts to clean everything up, and in the end, that was really well done.
Was it well done from PDF to win that, or was it maybe a bit of a mistake for the Terrorists to stay in? I think it's a bit of both, and maybe also CJ was a bit lucky to get his Uber right in time to save his life and some of his teammates as well. And now Theorist again.
Nah, that Viljack flank was also incredible. So I feel like it was definitely PDF putting in some decent work. But right now, Af's going to go down. Jordy bullying people away. Eklund's just going to walk over and clean him up. Mac trying to stay alive, gets cleaned up by a headshot from Viljack. The Theorists are going to have to back out. But look, Cooling going in. Oh, did you see that jump? He gets onto Collade as well.
Oh, that's another one.
That's some good. Ooh, that's a spicy meatball.
The back cap from Yeehaw is actually not that far off from getting complete, but he can't quite get a measure up to 6-time cap onto the last. And now they're already on last with the Uber charge ready. They're removing the stickies from the last point, and Toast is just sitting there waiting for the cap to be completed. It's 4-2 now, and I feel like what's hurting the Theorists now is they're rushing things way too hard. They want to come back in that game so hard that their fights are extremely messy, extremely overextended. I feel like, and PDF they only have to wait and clean the frags.
Mate, that cooling play was nuts. But we're coming into our... Oh, I'm going to have to do quick maths. Seventh. You know what? I don't know Gran. Yeah, it's always about 7. But Geordie goes in. He's actually going to get cleaned up. But Mac and Khalid cleaning up players here. CJ going down as well. Only Yeehaw and Khalid, the last surviving players with Toast at full health. Going to take a little bit of spam. Going to be denied of that pack. I'm going to go down. These mids are super close now.
Yeah, and they go in favor of Theorists, but it could really go either way every time. Every player is extremely weak, so it's about who's gonna eat the meteor shot. And now I think there's a crit streak in the hand of Dewey, and maybe this is the momentum break that Theorists need. They've been playing extremely aggressively, so the crit is actually gonna highlight that even more. But Fieldjack is on sniper, so it's actually the perfect counter to the crit.
Yep, and Geordie goes in for a play, tries to deny. Khalid goes in as well, does a lot of damage. They've cleaned up Neon, so the demo is down. That pipe hit Toast. Oof. That was pretty well done as Fieldjack gets backed out as well. They're going to go in for one. They don't want to waste any time as the crits comes in. Not able to connect onto anything for the time being. Mac, you're beefing. He ends up dying. Didn't even connect anything on that crit, and they're going to have to back out.
To be fair, I think going 1 here was the worst angle for Mac to hit any sticky, and they had time to go into lobby. But now what's done is done, and the aggression is coming ever against never-ending aggression from Khalid and Yeehaw and Av. They all going in, but they're all dying one after the other. They just don't know when to press S, and Theorists are going back to loss once more. CJ, as Izuba already uses in the faces of Theorists, and yeah, I feel like really they should. I feel like they're losing their cool, the Theorists. They're losing their cool in the way that they're playing. They're just pressing W all the time now, and I don't think that's the solution, because it looks like PDF are really able to slow things down and to play as a blob to punish the overextenders.
Yeah, and they're going in for the crits play once again. Doesn't look like they've connected anything though. Dowie manages to surf and uses the crits to save himself with AF, but no, that wasn't a good crit again. They weren't able to connect anything, but it doesn't matter as they've got the numbers to push in. They're gonna get it, and that's 4-3.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of bombs, a lot of jumps on each side, and I think it's not helping anyone right now, because I mean, it's not working for Theorists really well, and this time it worked because it was PDF who made that mistake of bombing really aggressively. So I feel like both teams need to slow things down a bit, especially PDF, because if they slow things down enough, they're just gonna take it home. So yeah, a little.
They can't afford to lose this. They just cannot afford to lose this. If they lose this, they're gonna come second, and they're gonna have to go to the Prem qualifiers. And the Theorists are gonna be able to go into Prem, but calling CJ goes down so quickly. Gets onto him really nicely, but both teams exchanging players. This post bomb fight is really important as Wheeljack lands a nice rocket onto Toast. Just fighting 3 players, not afraid, gonna get cleaned up by Yeehaw in the end. Wheeljack going for that final bomb onto Dowie. Ooh, so close. Yeehaw saving his team, and they win out the mid.
And this time Dewey lived, so it's a huge improvement for them with the Dewey living through that mid fight. So it's gonna have a sizable Uberrad, and this is probably the opportunity they need to come back into that game. I already hear Toast setting up a sentry gun, so PDF, they will need to be wary of that push and that Uberrad from Dewey, and they will need to park the bus at some point, otherwise they're gonna get punished really, really hard, because you mentioned if they lose that map, they're done for good.
Yeah, but the Theorists not looking to give them any remorse. But this is their downfall usually. They're so aggressive, but they're going to take this Uber in. CJ's just about to get his as they've got it in for 3. They're going to have to force CJ get out. And that's exactly what Dowie's managed to do. Khalid comes in, saves. Oh, that doesn't seem like much, but that play from Khalid, using those rockets, then jumping away at the last second, saved his team from getting cleaned up. And now they're going to just, again, fizzle things out, get things nice and slow. They've got that Uber ad, little bit of ad. They're going to build it out, and maybe this will be the opportunity for an equalizer for the Theorist Ombrack.
Yeah, but it's really, really small ad, and if PDF can hold this long enough, they're gonna get their own Uber, so it's gonna be about wasting as much time as they can and not feeding. And Jordy actually dives a bit early before the Uber is being used, so it's not really good for them, even though Calling died as well in that process.
Yeah, but they're playing on this right-hand side. They're going to go onto the sentry. They're going to clean it up. They're going to play across point. They've denied Neon out of the point, but Wheeljack is out. He gets Yeehaw, and poor old Af gets launched into the air and cleaned up. And in the end, Jordy and Doey need to run the hell out of dodge. They're able to do so, but it's not perfect. It's a little bit unorganized with their last pushes.
Yeah, it was again a small ad, so it's not that hard to waste it, but it was well played nonetheless by professional Disney Fangirls. And now it's maybe the time again. We've mentioned that sometime before already, but the time to slow things down for real. It's 5 minutes. It's really hard to push that second point when things are even, and this is maybe why theorists are not waiting for the Ubers to be even.
And they're not at all, as Calling gets cleaned up. Calais dies. You know what? 2 for 1, not a bad trade, and they're going to take it in, but they've got Uber disad, so again, their aggression is just letting them down. They haven't even capped. They get the force out of CJ, though, and they're going to lose Jordy, but they're going to have to back out. They've got Uber ad in their favour. It looked like a bad play, but they're going to go back in with this Uber ad, with the chariot I mentioned, through 3. Doey waiting to do it at the last second. They're going to go in now. Eklund's going to take a lot of damage. He's going to get cleaned up. The sentry gun's down as well. Calling, trying to deny off point, and Khaled coming in to help his team. They've done some really good work cleaning up those players. Now it's all about clearing that point, getting some time on there, and that's exactly what they've done. They've positioned, pushed off, but Neon comes in with a denial, but it's not enough. And that's going to be 4-4. It's scrappy but entertaining, Ombrack. That's how I describe it.
And I feel like PDF are a bit lacking in their Uber's efficiency. They don't really accomplish much with their Ubers, and this is pretty much what's holding them down right now, and what allowed theorists to come back into that game. The poor Ubers they've been having until now.
And coming on to this 9th mid. See, I can count Ombrack, and they're going to be looking like a real bunch up on this right-hand side from PDF as the bombs come in once again from the soldiers. They don't connect that much. Max actually going to go down. They finally get CJ. Now Doey just needs to stay alive as his team all on top of the crate managed to clean him up. But Wheeljack still in the backhands gets cleaned up there. And that's a full wipe for the Theorists, and they're pushing forward.
Yeah, when they push mid, PDF are just locking themselves down close to that sewer's entrance, and I mean it means that Jordy and Calais just have to bomb here to claim at least 2 frags. That's what happened once more, and everybody from PDF is just stuck here, and they can't do anything to get out of here. Another Uber is pretty interesting because it's a 80% ad, and with 3 minutes left, if you get around now, it may as well mean you take the map. And if Theorists take the map, they take it home.
And they're taking it through 3. They're going to go straight onto that sentry gun, clean it up nice and quickly. Calling, maybe looking for a bomb, decides against it, but CJ gets cleaned up. All of these players down. They've got heals on the side of the Theorists. They're bombing really nicely. Neon, the only one left outside. Jordy bounces his body against him. Wheeljack and Toast doing some good work, but it's not enough. And that's the second time during this map that the Theorists are in the lead.
See, you can count. Don't put yourself down. And yeah.
Thanks, Daddy Ombrack. I appreciate it.
5-4 now, and it's gonna be tricky for PDF to come back because they didn't seem able to find the answers in the last few middle points. So they will have to figure it out really quickly, because with 2 minutes left, Jake, it's gonna be hard for them to make it a tie once more.
They've got to have an absolutely perfect Uber on the side. Uber mid on the side. Uber would be good as well, but on the side of PDF, and they've done pretty well. They've dealt so much damage to the players, but they're starting to lose as Jordy bombs in. Wheeljack's going to get cleaned up. Coolin, the only surviving member, going to get cleaned up by those scouts, and in the end, that's the mid. 1 minute 40 left. It's going to be very difficult.
It's gonna be tough, but it's doable. I like the incentive here to push across point and try to take space. Unfortunately, I think Jordy was behind and completely punished that aggression, but they managed to get Dewey, so Uber should be even or close to that. And now it's gonna be Theorists are gonna park the bus. They're gonna wait for PDF to come in and try to crush their dreams and hopes to go into Prem. And maybe PDF, yeah, they're not even waiting for their Uber, they're just going straight away.
Oh my dear lord!
So for those who didn't understand what happened here, is that the double bomb from Jordy and Collate completely crushed everyone to the choke, and hence the exaltation.
I didn't know what to say. I was just in awe. Neon manages to land a pipe, but it's not enough. He's going to go down 50 seconds late, and
would you say that's it, Jake? Would you say that's it?
I don't want to call it. We've got 40 seconds left. Anything can happen. I called it before, and Seven nearly did it, and we've seen it before out of other teams, but no, I'm going to call it. Yep, calling it. 30 seconds. Congratulations.
Ooh, you're taking a risk here.
That was such a good game. I enjoyed that so much.
And yeah, in the end, Theorists take it in 2 maps. They are the winner of the Division 1 for Season 31 of ETF2L. And we'll see them, or they have a ticket for Prem next season. That's as much as we can say.
Yeah. Is that a golden ticket?
I don't know. I'm not Willy Wonka. I don't know about this.
But yeah, shall we? Yeah, that was good. You know what? Shout out to PDF for. I feel like they did so well. Like it was, even though it was 2 maps to the Theorist, PDF really surprised me with the way they played, and they made it such. It was so close compared to games we've seen before from them.
Yeah, I mean that was really close. I think most people expected them to be the underdogs and to lose tonight, but maybe in a bigger worse fashion. And actually were in the lead for quite some time onto Process. They even were threatening onto Gullywash as well. So it was actually really close. And I think even Theorists didn't expect the games to be this close. So it's pretty good for the show.
Oh my god!
Yeah, tell me.
Let's burst through logs quickly, because we basically have an entire team in the interview channel. There's at least 2 of each team, okay, because there's a lot of people on the interview. So looking at these logs, I'm gonna attempt to read logs, guys. Yeehaw and Af doing a lot of work, but that's kind of what they did during most of the game. I feel like they played really well off some of Max and specifically Geordie and Khalid's damage on those mids. They sacrificed themselves for the team, and the rest, like Yeehaw and Af, you mentioned before, really efficient scouts, and they put in the work. They really put in the work on Ombrack.
Yeah, and on the other side of the pitch, I see 34% of the hills onto Ekelon, who's the pocket scout, and maybe that's one of the things to look out for here for PDF, because maybe that was not the wisest decision to deprive your pocket and your demo from that many hills, because in the end, if you put too many hills on your scout, that's as less hills for your demo. So maybe one of the things to look out for. And look at those middle fights. Like it really, I felt like at the start of the game it was really in favor of PDF, and then somehow Theorists completely changed the flow of the game, and they won every single last middle points around the middle to the end of the game.
Yeah, it was really good. But like we mentioned, we're going to brush through it. The only other thing was 7 of those mid fights were actually won by the Theorists, and it doesn't really correlate into the scoreboard until the end, really, where they just kind of ran away with it. But we're going to have our interviews now. They're popping in, they're flying in. So starting alphabetically, we have CJ from PDF. We have Dory from the Theorists. We also are joined by Toast and Yeehaw. Toast being from PDF and Yeehaw being from the Theorist. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Pretty good. Pretty
what
bad.
Was that?
There was someone who won, Jake. That's what happened when you win. But congratulations!
I've never won anything.
Congratulations to Dewey and Yeehaw for winning Deep One. And
feels good, man. We got
can you not interrupt me when I speak?
Got Clade into Prem though.
It's not because so you won that you can do everything you wished. I'll let you speak later. And we also have commiseration for CJ and Toast, who didn't manage to take that win. Grumpy, do you want to shoot the first question?
Oh, okay. You're putting the pressure on me. So we'll talk about the first map. This is how I like to do things. So I'm going to speak to CJ and Toast first because I feel like you guys really stepped up compared to the previous times you faced the Theorist. How are you feeling on this first map? Because I feel like you guys put on a great show, honestly.
I thought we played really well on it. Actually, we probably should have taken it to at least a golden cap. The last round we pretty much, I don't want to say through, but we just didn't get the kills we needed on last. But yeah, I mean, it's a map we didn't play against these guys the last couple of times we played against them, so we had some scrims on it and we felt kind of good in it. So yeah, we felt in control for most of the map. Like even the first round, which was mega long, I felt like we were on their last for a while. It just didn't turn out well in the end.
I have a question for Yeehaw, because we talked a bit earlier in the pub and you said that you expected to win kind of, I'm going to say easily, or maybe a bit with a bigger scoreline in your favor, and in the end it was really close. So did you expect the two maps to be that close?
I definitely didn't expect it to be that close. Like, based on our previous, the upper bracket, we had a pretty... how do I put this politically? Process was pretty comfortable for us. So, I mean, I wasn't really worried going into it, but, when they started, doing pretty well on Gully, I don't know. I didn't really change anything, just kind of played the same, so... It was definitely surprising, but it wasn't that big of a problem, honestly.
And so let's move on to process. Toast, I feel like at the start of the map, you really looked like you had things in control. You won most of the middle fights, and then something happened. I don't really know what happened, but I feel you kind of lost control of the game. And do you think there was a turning point that made you lose that map?
I'm not sure. We have when we are in control and we get a good lead, we have a tendency to quite easily drop the ball, unfortunately, and that's kind of what happened. So we kind of, I don't know, we didn't lose concentration, but I don't know, we just dropped the ball really, just kind of half through it, because we were completely in control of the first, 20 minutes of the game. I was pretty convinced that we'd win that easily, but fortunately it wasn't to be.
And do we? So Toad just said that they dropped the ball, and the other thing I want to mention is I feel like one of your issues, Dewey, on the first part of process was that Mac has basically no impact on the middle fights at the start of the map, and then he somehow figured something out. I don't know what it was, but it felt like he had way more impact. Again, did you have to talk mid game on process, or did it just happen naturally that you just managed to turn up?
What happens is I tell people what to do, and then if they do it, we win. If they don't, we lose, and that's the entirety of this team.
So, Dory, on that, was it your decision to play so aggressively on all those last pushes, even though you didn't have ad or anything like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when you run crits, the thing is our team is really good at doing something that other teams aren't, which is just causing 6v6 fights to happen. And we rarely go crits, but crits is basically the ultimate thing to use in that scenario. So we just force stuff to happen, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't really matter as long as stuff keeps happening.
I appreciate the level of aggression. It's just an absolute pleasure to watch, honestly.
Can you not just inflate his ego, please?
So sorry, Yeehaw. Would you like me to stroke yours a bit?
Oh well, no. If you insist, I wouldn't force you, but
To put it in perspective,
please.
Both the maps, they outdamaged us. So that's because we were constantly walking through choke points, and they just spam us as we walk in. So we enter a bunch of these fights with minus 150 health, in total over a bunch of players. They should be able to win most of those fights from that advantage they have, even if it's just small health advantage, but our scouts DM is just way too strong. They're definitely the DM carries.
So you didn't win because of you. You won because of Af and Yeehaw, that's what you're saying. That's nothing to do with you doing.
I mean, it's true, but I was personally told everyone to go forward in the first place and where to play exactly. Okay. If they were playing the wrong spot.
You were controlling the DM lords,
I guess,
basically.
Yeah. Except for you guys letting me do it.
Yeah, I can't be controlled.
Unchained animal.
Yeah.
I just take off the leash and he just runs wild.
Yeah. Fun fact about me and Doey. Last season we played in a team, and
Extremely fun so far.
At the end of that season, we never wanted to play with each other again.
Well, did you guys just like flat out hate each other?
Yeah, we were like, okay, at the first week, we were like literally screaming at each other every game. Because I was like,
he was a scout!
yeah, see? And, like, and I was like kind of more of a rager back then. And like, I've kind of got it more under control now. But like,
I thought you couldn't be controlled.
Well, by myself, you know what I mean. Anyway, we kind of went to I-63, and then we played in the fun tournament, and like, I think Geordie and Max spent like 2 hours trying to convince Doey to like play with me, because we're like all friends, and
there was one Essentials Cup in like April, and we managed to take a map off of Bus Crew and like 2 close games or something. And they were playing really badly. And it was just based on that one game that Mac and Geordie were like, oh yeah, we should do this, you know?
Yeah, what a bunch of idiots.
Let's take this back on tracks, because we don't really care about what happened 6 months ago.
Yes, true, I agree.
I have one last question for you, CJ. I think what hurts you the most in that game is the way your team played your Ubers. So I don't know what really happened. I feel like it's more of a team cohesion, but would you agree when I said that your Ubers were a bit lacking in efficiency?
Yeah, there was a couple of times where the call was to kind of go in and exchange, and we wouldn't get the force off. I think that hurt us more on process than Gully. But there was a couple of times where if we'd got the exchange and backed off, we would have had a man advantage and we could have worked off that. But if you don't get the force off in that situation and you're pushed back to second or last and they have an Uber ad, then you're really on the back foot, and it's kind of hard to kind of defend against that. So yeah, I agree with that. It's probably the one thing that if we'd got that perfectly today, I reckon we could have edged it. But just a few stray Ubers here and there just cost us.
Fair enough. And my last question to the theorists. So we've seen so many teams winning Div 1, winning that ticket for Prem, and then disbanding or just losing everything over the course of that in between seasons. So what's the future holding for you guys?
Well, I mean, you can't see my mumble name. I'm looking for a team right now.
True.
I'm literally dead inside.
Yeah.
No, the plan is mostly to stay together. Probably play Prem. Maybe 1 or 2 people leave. I don't know. Probably not though.
Yeah.
So probably all stay together, and then we'll go Prem, and then Copenhagen looks likely as well. I think.
Hopefully, one of the people that leaves is Doey.
Ooh.
You be quiet.
Oh, sorry, was I?
Meaning you. But yeah, probably Prem and then Copenhagen. So season of practice again, and then go LAN. See what happens.
Good. Yeah. Let's remind that Copenhagen is actually one of the sponsors for season 31. So it's pretty good plug. Thank you, Dewey, for saying that.
No worries.
The other sponsors we have is STN.TF and Not Trading, like Jake said as the start of the cast.
Ombrack, why are you dicking on me so much?
People can watch the VOD anyway, so it doesn't matter if I remind them or not. They will know. It's out there on the internet. Do you have any more questions to ask to these guys?
I have 2 questions. First off, did you guys have as much fun as it looked? Like both teams? I'll take that as a no.
I mean, I was having fun, but I don't know.
Was it intense? Was it a bit
there
too much?
was one point that I was laughing so hard in process. I have this thing I do where I go spy and then I'll go back cab. And I did it against 7 in a scrim and it worked. And ever since then, I've just always done it, even though it's worked against no other team ever. So I was going to do it, but then I was like, I'm too scared. I can't do it.
Yeah, I think he wet himself as well.
To be fair, it nearly worked. Nearly.
Yeah, I mean, I did. Did you see the juggle I got on Phil Check on Spy?
We saw that little MG action mess. That was pretty good.
Yeah, but to answer your question, it wasn't like that intense. I was like pretty impressed with my team. We were like a lot of rounds down, like 2 rounds down, and like the risk is they can stalemate it out pretty much and just like stalemate it and just play the time, essentially just running down the clock. But like we kept a really calm attitude, I think, which was pretty good. I think it gives us an advantage over a lot of teams. I think CJ's team kind of maybe got a bit angry towards the end, but I wouldn't know.
Oh no, we weren't angry. We were laughing most of the time because Viljack's got like the flu or something at the moment. So when he was screaming that he was killing a medic, like his voice was like cracking uncountable times, and we were kind of worried that if it went to a third map, like he would just not be able to talk. So we were enjoying ourselves.
So you guys effectively helped Viljack's voice.
Well, I don't think so. No, I think
Well,
I think his voice
it's
is dead.
completely ruined for the next fortnight. So
Oh, bless him. But yeah, to CJ and Toast, any plans for Copenhagen? And are we going to see you guys at the Prem qualifiers for next season?
CJ and I and Viljack and Coling and Ekelund will all be going, and we'll probably be making a team there.
Neon doesn't travel, so he's gonna be there.
But yeah, we'll all be going. If we make a team, I don't know yet. And for next season, we don't know yet. I want to take a break right now, but it's probably. I imagine we could very easily return, very likely return next season as well. Go for the playoffs.
Wait, a professional Disney Fangirl roster without Seal and without Toast?
No, I'll be playing. Don't worry.
Okay.
Next team.
Okay.
But
Seal's there in spirit.
I'm relieved.
But yeah, I've got no more questions. Have you, Ombrack?
No, I'm drinking right now.
Okay.
Water.
Okay.
Don't.
Water. Okay. So we'll go for shout outs. I like to do it alphabetical, but I'm going to go against that, and I'm going to ask Yeehaw first. Have you got any shout outs?
Well, firstly, shout out to Disney Fangirls because you played pretty well and got pretty far for what was essentially your first season together. So that's pretty impressive. Shout out to Kalis. Seeds, Hammerham, Gar, like everyone in the Mac Mumble.
Also cool
shout
as
out
the
to my
elite.
team. Yeah. Shout out to my team and Dowie as well. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, Toast.
Yeah, shout out to my team and Theorists, and then shout out to the production for making all this stuff. It's great.
Dowie.
Shout out to top level TF2 being dead since we're in Prem. And
Nice.
we got Clade in Prem. Like, seriously, that has never been done before. He's been hard stuck high for 2-3 years now, I think.
Yeah,
So that's an achievement.
Yeah, I think with this team, he doubled his officials one in high. Another fun fact.
That's
Can you
actually
double
possible.
0?
Also, shout out to the coat hanger in our team profile pic.
Nice. CJ.
Yeah, just shout out to my team. Like, considering we got a couple of the players on last minute just before signups, I'm really pleased of how we've done. Like, it's been really fun as well. It's been like a non-ragey, actual fun season, which is the first one I've had for a while. Shout out to production, you guys for casting. Thanks for taking the time out to do it. Shout out to all the haters who didn't want to see me get into Prem. They keep trying so that TF2 will eventually implode and people can't handle that trader main. It's actually going to get into Prem, but maybe one day.
I want to see
one day.
you in Prem.
Yeah, maybe one day. Grumpy, I'll keep
Maybe
trying.
one day.
And also shout out to everyone on my stream who's been supporting me over the past couple of months. Like, I really appreciate all of that. People come in and support. It's really nice. So yeah, thanks.
No worries. Ombrack, have you got any shout outs?
Shout out to people who watch, shout out to people who cast, shout out to everyone who's involved in everything in TF2, producing stuff, Wiethoofd and Gem who are producing most of the games, and Peter as well. Let's not forget to give love to these guys. Shout out to Jake for being a no-right caster with me. And I forgot, oh yeah, shout out to Eames, who's that demo who couldn't make it to playoffs with his team.
Ombrack, are you just trying to make enemies?
My god, that's just savagery.
Like, in between season is so boring all the time. I'm just trying to light things up.
I'm gonna be nicer with my shout outs and shout out to everyone watching. Shout out to the teams that played. It was incredibly entertaining. Shout out to Ombrack, I love you, even though I know it's not returned. Shout out to Wiethoofd because I love triggering you. And shout out to the return of Grumpy Koi at some point because I saw the messages in chat. And you guys are hella triggered that I changed my name, so I should probably change it back because it's still the same on Mumble. But yeah, so all in all, finally shout out to our sponsors, Copenhagen Games and STN.TF. Is that right, Ombrack? You're like a teacher at this point, so yeah. Cool.
You're learning.
I'm learning. Good. And finally, thank you everyone for watching. This has been the ETF2L Season 31 Div 1 Grand Finals between the Theorists and professional Disney fangirls. The Theorists taking it for the win. So, yeah, we will see you. I guess Prem Finals is next, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and mid.
And Div 2, but yeah.
Div 2.
Mostly
Yeah.
Prem.
Prem! Woo! We'll see ya. Bye-bye.